Hello, 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 everyone. It's your girl, Self Carrie, your astrological empowerment counselor. And I do mean the word counselor, probably more than I ever have in my life, because what I provide is astrological counseling, meaning helping you navigate and stay focused and even benefit from the astrological transits that are around all of us right now. I am bringing you this video and recording it on January 9th. And here in California, we are in the midst of the LA fires. I'm sure you've been hearing about it, as you've been hearing so many of the devastating things that are happening around the world. I'm not down in Southern California, I'm in Northern California, but I do have friends and family that live down in LA and that I've been speaking with and helping them work through this time. It is unprecedented, right? So I just want to put out to everybody, this is the time to be getting counseling, to be getting therapy, to be getting updates. And I wanted to bring you one today. I don't think it's a mistake that we are experiencing the LA fires and so many other things right before the North Node moves into Pisces on January 11th, just days from now. You may have heard me mention the North Nodes before. The North Node represents the part of our astrological chart that gives us meaning. And there's also a South Node. The South Node represents where we've come from. So it's almost like astrology gives us a little guidebook and says, this is where you came from. But if you go in this direction, you will feel fulfilled in life. You will feel taken care of. You will feel one with source. You will feel a life fulfilled, which is what so many people strive for, right? The thing about the North Node is that we've not been there before. The North Node and the South Node are opposite signs and opposite houses, meaning where you came from is where you're comfortable with. Even if it was dysfunctional, even if it was unhealthy, I often say even what's familiar is a trauma bond, okay? The North Node, though, represents what would give you meaning, healing, that sense of satisfaction, but it's a little scary for us because we haven't been there before. It's uncharted territory. Now, you have a personal North Node, natal placement, and transit, and so does this planet and every country on this planet, right? And so globally, we are experiencing the North Node going into the sign of Pisces. Now, what does that mean? Before I go into what Pisces and all these shifts mean, I'm going to tell you where we've been. For the last 18 months, the North Node, the thing that gives us meaning, and backing away from the South Node, which doesn't necessarily give us meaning, but it's like we did that already. We don't need to go back there. We got the degree, okay? The North Node has been in the sign of Aries for the last 18 months. And Aries represents fire. It represents movement. It represents the self. It is the baby of the zodiac, the very first sign. And it represents the period of when there was like the Big Bang theory, like the big crash, the big combustion, the I am here. I exist. I am aware. I am awareness. It's like I am physically, mentally, spiritually here and I exist. It is existence. And if you know an Aries, they carry that energy of I am here. Do you see me? I'm here, and they're going to take up space. This is why for the last 18 months, we have been experiencing such a focus on the self, the focus on, this is my time to heal. This is my precious time. I'm focused on me. I'm doing me. We've been doing that for almost 2 years now. And you've seen it show up in armchair psychology and on social media and even t-shirts and merchandise. People have been talking about this is my time to shine. This is my time to bring myself into the forefront. This is my time to show off my identity and who I really am. Now, if the North Node is in the Aries, then the South Node is going to be the opposite sign, Libra. And Libra represents partnerships and relationships. So for the past 18 months, we've been stepping away from partnerships and relationships. Why? So that we could have a relationship with ourselves, really. so that we could understand how healthy understanding of self is what gets you healthy relationships. It also made us have to take a look at the parts of ourselves that maybe don't align with relationships or that we need to heal in order to be in relationship. So South Node in Libra isn't like it wasn't there. The point is always to just balance the two, right? So now the North Node, which has been in Aries for 18 months, is moving into the sign of Pisces. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. So you'll notice the North Node goes backwards. It doesn't go on to Taurus, it goes into Pisces now, right? What gives us meaning is Pisces energy now. And for the next 18 months to 2 years, it will be Pisces energy. Pisces is a water sign. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. Pisces represents oneness with source. It represents oneness with your creator. It represents forgiveness. It represents empathy. It represents even martyrdom. It can even represent self-sacrifice or the sacrificial lamb. But all in all, Pisces represents the unknown, the the period when we have left our creator and our physical body and we've gone to meet our creator, whomever you believe that to be. Pisces is the sign after, in traditional zodiac, the sign after Aquarius. So Aquarius represents the community and it represents, being with community. And Pisces represents the separation from community to be with source, right? So now that we're in the age of Aquarius, we're very community focused. That's not going to change. But with the North Node in Pisces, what gives us meaning is going to be forgiveness, empathy. It's going to be bringing that to ourselves, self forgiveness, as well as bringing that to our communities and the people around us. What's going to be taking a step back, though? That's Virgo. That's the opposite sign of Pisces. And Virgo represents the workhorse of the zodiac, the people who are of service, who produce things, perhaps the perfectionists. I've heard the hypervigilant. Virgo represents the nervous system or having to overplan or do things a certain way. I love Virgo. I have 3 planets in Virgo. So I understand this desire for refinement that Virgo brings. But what it also can bring is paralysis, analysis paralysis, because a Virgo will go over something so many times. And if they can't do it perfectly, they might end up not doing it at all. Okay. And so what I love about this particular axis is that we are bringing in empathy, forgiveness, kind of is taking a step back from self, and we are putting on the back burner perfectionism, hyper productivity, hyper vigilance, all that stuff that we thought made up our everyday lives, right? So Virgo is making us be less critical and a little bit less judgmental of ourselves and each other so that we can kind of move forward into oneness and forgiveness. Now, I do have a North Node class coming up that you'll want to stay tuned for. Definitely make sure you're on the mailing list and you'll get information here about that. And I wanted to do that now because I wanted us to really go in depth and help you understand how this North Node could be affecting you personally, but also so that you could look at the other astrological charts of other people and be able to say, oh, the North Node's going to be affecting them that way. That's why we're acting like that. That's why they're doing that. And also to give you some guidance about how you can handle situations for the next 18 months. Okay. Because the whole world will be engaging in this in some form or another. Every sign in the zodiac has a house, and the house is where the area of life that you can expect to see that energy show up. With the North Node going into Pisces, you want to take a look on your chart, and you want to take a look at where Pisces rules, the house that Pisces rules on your chart. Now, knowing about it doesn't necessarily mean you can strategize and plan for it and use it to your best ability. This is why I'm going to be doing a class about it and to help you be very in depth, but also be able to teach other people about it too. Now, what is the reason why I think this is happening? Astrology is all over the place this year. As you know, we have 3 major planets, generational planets, moving into completely different zodiac signs this year, which means every person born from this year on is going to know the world a completely different way from the way that we have known it. And so we are going to have to shift into this new way of knowing with the knowledge of what it was like before, right? So this is unprecedented, and there are very few people alive, or probably nobody alive, to be honest, who was alive when all three of these planets were moving into different zodiac signs. So we're definitely here for a reason. So we want to take a look at, I wanted to give you an understanding of how this was showing up in my life, to give you an understanding of how this could be showing up for you, okay? So I mentioned that the North Node is always going to fall in the Pisces part of your chart. And in my North Node, is my Pisces is ruled by, is a ruler of the sixth house. Now, the sixth house is the house of Virgo. I am a Libra ascendant. For all y'all Libra risings watching this, we got the short end of the stick because our zodiac sign is backwards. So we're always trying to balance everything, right? We're always trying to balance between these two energies that are very contradictory. Okay. But Pisces rules my sixth house. Now, the sixth house is the house of Virgo. It represents the mundane, the day to day, the chop wood, carry water, the schedule, the body, the health regime, the get up at this time and meditate and then go for a run and then work from this time to this time, then make sure you have a healthy dinner, like that kind of thing. That is the Virgo, the sixth house. It represents your work, not necessarily your career, but the work you do, and especially the work you do to be of service. So this could also be volunteer work, things like that. So with Pisces ruling my sixth house, I have always viewed work, the work that I do for income or the work that I do just on a, more routine basis. I have to be of service. It's very important to me that it's very Piscean, right? I have to be able to use my imagination. I have to be of service. It has to be sort of for the greater good. I have to feel a certain amount of spirituality in the work that I do. I also feel that being an astrologer, working with the unknown. But yeah, my actual day-to-day lifestyle, and this can be in the form of like being a health coach, which I've been in the past, a nutritionist, which I've been in the past. This could be in the form of, like I was saying, working with the imagination. I have a background in an undergraduate degree in filmmaking. So these two things have always had to play out in the work that I do: imagination and spirituality and being of service to other people, that kind of thing. So with Pisces, with the North Node moving into my Pisces sixth house, that's what's giving me meaning now from the next 18 months to 2 years. So it's no mistake that I'm recording this from a meditation retreat center here in Northern California. Isn't that gorgeous? This is my day today, where I have just gotten a part-time position as a spiritual counselor or for the retreatants here. And when there is a retreat, I am here to support them, whatever kind of spiritual needs there or spiritual emergencies they may have. But I felt called to do a position like this. I didn't really know this position existed, to be honest, but I was maybe about 3 or 4 months ago, I felt very called to start being more of service with the work that I do. And, I work as an astrologer and I have, Zoom relationships with a lot of my clients that, especially the ones that are overseas. But I felt like I wanted to be more hands-on with people and not just in person. I'm happy to do counseling over Zoom, but I also just wanted to be able to be counseling regularly. I wanted to add that, take courses, get certifications, add that to my astrological counseling background. I wanted to get better at being the counselor part of my astrological counseling background. And so this position kind of came to me out of so a friend referred me and connected, and this, it's like all the things fell into place. And then all of a sudden I was like, wow, I have that thing that I said I wanted. And it's happening right before January 11th, right? I was asked to do a 3-day retreat here, or 3 days of a retreat here. And I also want to add the other kind of serendipitous thing that happened, which is that I was supposed to fly down to LA Friday to go attend the Dr. Joe Dispenza meditation retreat down there. And of course, with the fires, that had been canceled, and I'm not able to go down there. But I do think it's really interesting that the North Node moving into Pisces is happening this weekend. I thought me going to Joe Dispenza was going to be that initiation, right, into the North Node going into my sixth house. I thought I would get involved with helping and doing some group healings or things like that. Instead, I'm doing individual and group healing here, right? And um, I am going where I'm needed most, because that's what source does for us. But seeing this happen globally when so much stuff is occurring means that we as a collective are moving into empathy for each other, sympathy for each other, forgiveness of each other, forgiveness of ourselves. We're about to go through a lot of stuff, okay? A lot of natural disasters. We're going to have to do a lot of things on a community level for our neighbors, for our community members, for our friends, for our families. We're going to have to step up in big ways. Some of us are even going to become local politicians by the end of this transit of North Node and Pisces, okay? Whatever politician looks like in the future, all right? So I just want you to understand and start to see how, yes, we are going to be going through a lot of chaotic stuff in the coming months. There are multiple transits this month or this year that point to that. But we are going into it with the spiritual armor of 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 tapping into source, knowing that we are protected, knowing that we actually can help each other, having empathy for each other. That's not a mistake. That's not a mistake. So we are definitely being supported in where we're trying to go next. So, if you want to hear more about that my 2025 forecast, I do have the replay available for $35. I'll put the link below. If you would like to go ahead and purchase that, um, have that going until the end of January. And then, of course, please stay tuned to my weekly newsletters. I'd love to share more information with you and help you work through this, give you the guidance and strategies to work with these transits as they come up, because they're going to come up quickly. Okay. But I would say probably my biggest thing that I of guidance for the North Node in the Pisces is to let go. I was going to say let go and let God. And I have to say, I've never been really fond of that saying, just because it was like, what does that mean even? Jesus, take the wheel. Like, what does that mean? But I think the guidance for it and what I think that it means is that there's nothing for us to do. We will be instructed as to what we're meant to do. The people down in Southern California are being instructed what to do next by higher sources. Higher things are coming in and showing them, okay, this might not show up, so we're going to have to show up. It is teaching us where to go next. So I just wanted to offer that to you. Also, definitely be sure, I know you're on the mailing list right now, but definitely refer other people to join my mailing list. I will be taking a step back from social media. Jupiter is in the sign of Gemini until May, and this means that an overabundance of media, and not even very real media, is coming for us if it's not here already. It's quite toxic. It's not something I want to get involved with. I also don't want to, for my people who follow me and try to get guidance from me, to have to go through a bunch of social media to get to me and to get to the algorithm. I'd rather you just get the information straight from me. I really want to be able to serve you at this time. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for listening. Thank you so much for listening and so much for being. And I will send you another newsletter very soon with some updates on the next astrological transits coming up and some counseling tips to help you get through We do have a major healing coming later this year. So until then, take care.